First contact. The quantum sensors aboard the Nebula Seeker pulsed with an unexpected rhythm. Captain Vexra Call's six-fingered hand paused over the holographic display, her iridescent scales shifting from deep blue to a concerned purple. "Impossible," she whispered, compound eyes narrowing at the data stream. Senior Science Officer Zix floated to her side, his tentacled body hovering slightly above the polished deck. "Captain, these readings violate at least 7 fundamental laws of astrophysics." The anomaly had appeared during a routine survey of Sector 9 Theta, a region notorious for its deadly radiation levels, after 3 consecutive supernovae had scored it clean of life centuries ago. No exploratory mission had ever ventured deep into the sector, until now. "Magnify the source," Vexra ordered, her translator implant converting her natural clicking speech into the standardized galactic common used aboard mixed-species vessels. The main view screen shifted, focusing on what should have been empty space. Instead, a planet materialized, one that couldn't possibly exist. Lush with vibrant blues and greens, it orbited a stable star in the heart of the radiation zone. "Life signs?" Vexra asked, already knowing the answer would defy explanation. Zix's tentacles danced across the sensor array. "Billions. Plant life, animal life, and," he paused, his chromatophores flashing with disbelief, "intelligent activity. Highly advanced." Navigation Officer Trella, a crystalline being from the Arcturus system, chimed in with a harmonic tone of concern. "Captain, the Union exploration protocols are clear. Sector 9 Theta is classified as uninhabitable. We should report this anomaly and await instructions." Vexra's scales shifted to a determined gold. In 300 cycles of exploration, she had built her reputation on following her instincts rather than bureaucratic caution. "Prepare a landing party. Full environmental protection protocols. I want to know what's down there." As the Nebula Seeker entered orbit, the mystery only deepened. Their most sophisticated scanning beams were somehow reflected, absorbed, or simply ignored. The planet-side technology was responding to their presence, but in ways their systems couldn't interpret. "It's as if they're speaking a completely different technological language," Zix remarked, his usual scientific detachment giving way to genuine wonder. The landing shuttle departed with Captain Vexra, Science Officer Zix, Security Chief Dorn, a massive reptilian whose armored plates gleamed under the shuttle's lights, and 2 research specialists. As they descended through the atmosphere, their shuttle systems began to behave erratically. "Weapons systems offline," reported Dorn, his clawed hand frantically working at his console. "Environmental controls reconfiguring," one of the specialists added with growing alarm. Vexra remained calm. "Are we under attack?" "No, Captain," Zix replied, studying his instruments. "More like, we're being gently modified. Something is reading our technology and making adjustments." The shuttle landed in a clearing surrounded by structures that defied conventional architectural principles, buildings that seemed to merge organically with the surrounding vegetation, surfaces that shifted color and texture as if alive. And everywhere, fields of energy that their sensors identified as lethal radiation, yet somehow contained, controlled, even harnessed. "According to our database," Zix said quietly, "this level of technological advancement exceeds anything in the known galaxy." As the landing party prepared to disembark, their environmental suits suddenly powered down, then rebooted with new configurations. "Captain," Dorn growled in alarm, "our suits have been compromised." Before panic could set in, a voice came through their communication systems, speaking perfect galactic common. "We've adjusted your protective gear to function properly in our environment. The standard models would have failed within minutes. Please, step outside when you're ready. We've been expecting visitors for some time." The voice belonged to a human, a species known to the galactic community, though considered a minor power confined to a small sector thousands of light years from their current position. When they finally emerged from the shuttle, they found themselves facing a man who appeared entirely ordinary by human standards, except for the subtle glow that seemed to emanate from beneath his skin and the eyes that shifted color like living opals. "Welcome to Phoenix Colony," he said with a slight bow. "I'm Dr. Marcus Chen, Director of Extraplanetary Relations. You're the first visitors we've allowed to find us in over 200 years." Vexra stepped forward, her diplomatic training taking over despite her shock. "I am Captain Vexra Call of the Union exploration vessel Nebula Seeker. This planet shouldn't exist. Your presence here defies explanation." Dr. Chen smiled, the expression warm yet somehow ancient, as if he carried centuries of knowledge behind his eyes. "Captain, that's precisely why we're here. 250 years ago, a human colony ship was damaged passing through this sector. Rather than abandon ship, our ancestors made a choice to land on what appeared to be a dying world in a radiation-soaked region of space." He gestured to the thriving ecosystem around them. What they found instead was opportunity. This planet exists in a unique quantum state, one that allowed us to evolve in ways no one could have predicted. As they walked from the landing zone, the aliens observed humans going about their daily lives. But these were humans unlike any recorded in Union databases. Some appeared to phase partially through solid matter. Others manipulated objects without touching them. Children played with energy fields that should have been deadly. "The radiation?" Zix asked, his scientific curiosity overwhelming his caution. "How do you survive it?" Dr. Chen stopped beside a plant whose leaves seemed to pulse with internal light. "We don't just survive it, Officer Zix. We've adapted to it, incorporated it, enhanced ourselves with it." He plucked a leaf, and it dissolved into motes of light that were absorbed into his hand. "Our initial survival was desperate. Gene therapy, radical biological engineering, quantum entanglement with the planet itself. What began as survival became transformation." Security Chief Dorn, ever suspicious, kept his hand near where his weapon would have been, had it not been mysteriously disabled upon landing. "And you've hidden yourselves away. Why?" "To develop weapons." Dr. Chen's expression turned serious. "To develop in peace, without interference or attempts to control what we were becoming. The galaxy fears what it doesn't understand, as your posture demonstrates, Chief Dorn." Vexra moved between them, her diplomatic skills taking precedence. "You said you've been expecting visitors. Why allow us to find you now?" "Because it's time," Dr. Chen replied simply. "We've watched the Union expand, observed your civilizations interact. We've learned your languages, studied your cultures from afar, and we've reached a point in our development where isolation no longer serves our purpose." He led them toward a massive structure at the center of the settlement, a building that seemed to shift and change as they approached, its architecture responding to their very presence. "This is our central nexus," Dr. Chen explained, "the heart of Phoenix Colony. Here, you'll understand what humanity has become on this world, and why the time for contact has finally arrived." As they approached the entrance, the building opened like a blooming flower, revealing a swirling nexus of energy and information that made even the most advanced Union technology look primitive by comparison. "Captain Vexra," Dr. Chen said, his voice taking on a new dimension of depth and resonance, "your discovery of Phoenix Colony isn't an accident. It's an invitation. What you're about to witness will change your understanding of what's possible." He stepped into the light, his form becoming partially translucent, and extended his hand. "Will you join me?" Vexra looked back at her crew, then at the human before her. In 3 centuries of exploration, she had never encountered anything like this. Without hesitation, she reached out and took his hand. "Show me," she said. And as they stepped into the light together, Vexra knew that whatever came next would forever change the course of galactic history. The revelation. Inside the central nexus, reality itself seemed fluid. Captain Vexra's compound eyes struggled to process the shifting dimensions around her as Dr. Chen guided the aliens through what appeared to be both a physical space and a manifestation of pure information. "This is our collective," Chen explained, his voice resonating from everywhere and nowhere. a neural quantum interface that connects every human on Phoenix Colony. The aliens watched in awe as human minds worked in concert, visualized as intricate patterns of light and energy. Some humans stood in translucent chambers, their consciousness projected into the network, while others moved through the space physically, interacting with data streams with mere gestures. "Is this a hive mind?" asked Zix, his scientific curiosity overwhelming his caution. Chen smiled. "No, we maintain our individuality. This is something different, a shared cognitive space where we can collaborate at the speed of thought while remaining distinct beings. Unity without uniformity." Security Chief Dorn remained skeptical. Such power concentrated in one species, the Union would consider this a potential threat, which is precisely why we remained hidden. A new voice interrupted. A woman approached, elderly by human standards, her silver hair floating around her head as if suspended in water, though they stood in normal gravity. Her eyes shimmered with the same opalescent quality as Chen's. "I am Dr. Eleanor Wade, one of the original colonists," she introduced herself. 250 years ago by your time standards, I was a young geneticist aboard the Phoenix when we crashed." Vexra's scales shifted to a shocked yellow. "That's impossible. Humans don't live that long." Eleanor laughed, the sound like crystal bells. "Many things once thought impossible are merely improbable, Captain. When we realized the unique quantum properties of this planet, we began to change. It started with survival adaptations, but it became something more." She waved her hand, and the space around them transformed into a historical record, showing the crashed colony ship, the desperate survivors, the first generation struggling against radiation and a hostile environment. "We should have died," Eleanor continued. "Instead, we evolved. The radiation that should have killed us became the catalyst for our transformation." The visual record shifted, showing generations of humans gradually changing, developing new abilities, merging with their technology until the distinction between biological and artificial became meaningless. "We can manipulate matter at the quantum level," Chen added. "Restructure our biology at will. Some of us have achieved partial transcendence from physical form, and all while maintaining our humanity, our compassion, creativity, and curiosity." Zix floated closer to one of the displays, his tentacles quivering with excitement. "Your advancement curve is exponential. If these records are accurate, you've compressed millions of years of evolution into centuries." "Necessity is a powerful motivator," Eleanor said with a wry smile, "as is freedom from interference." Vexra moved to the center of the chamber, her diplomatic instincts sensing the heart of the matter. "You've revealed yourselves to us for a reason. What do you want from the Union?" Chen and Eleanor exchanged a look that contained volumes of unspoken communication. "We want nothing from you," Chen said finally, "but we have much to offer. Knowledge, technology, a new understanding of consciousness itself, but only if the approach is one of exchange rather than exploitation." Before Vexra could respond, the entire nexus pulsed with alarm. Streams of data flashed red throughout the structure. "We have company," Eleanor stated calmly. "Your ship was followed." The space shifted again, now showing real-time images of 3 warships dropping out of faster-than-light travel. Their design was unmistakable. Tarvus Imperium vessels, a militant faction that had broken from the Union a decade earlier. "Hostile intent detected," Chen reported. "They're charging weapons systems." Dorn growled, instinctively reaching for his disabled weapon. "The Imperium must have tracked our signature. They've been pushing into forbidden sectors for months. They consider any advanced technology their rightful property," Vexra added grimly. "If they've found this colony, they haven't found anything yet." Eleanor interrupted, her expression serene despite the threat. "And they won't, unless we allow it." With a gentle gesture, she expanded the view, showing dozens of Phoenix colonists calmly moving to various positions throughout the settlement. There was no panic, no rush to defensive positions, only purposeful movement. "You should see how we respond to threats," Chen said. It may help you understand why we've chosen this moment to reveal ourselves. Above the planet, the Imperium ships launched their first salvo, high-energy plasma torpedoes designed to disable planetary defenses. But as the weapons entered the atmosphere, something extraordinary happened. The torpedoes simply dissolved, their energy dispersed and absorbed into the planetary field. The Imperium commander, visible now on the display, appeared confused, then angry. He ordered a second attack, this time a concentrated beam weapon targeted at the colony's location. The beam struck what appeared to be an invisible shield and scattered into prismatic light, harmless and beautiful. "We don't believe in destruction," Eleanor explained as they watched. "Even in self-defense." On the display, the Imperium ships began experiencing system failures. Not catastrophic ones that would endanger their crews, but precise interventions that rendered weapons inoperable and navigation systems temporarily confused. "We're not disabling their vessels," Chen clarified. "We're communicating with them. Their ship's AI systems are being shown alternatives to violence." Vexra watched in amazement as the Imperium vessels gradually backed away, unable to penetrate the defenses yet strangely unwilling to continue the attack. It wasn't mind control. It was something more subtle. A technological persuasion. "You could destroy them," Dorn stated flatly. "Why don't you?" "Because that's not who we are," Eleanor replied. "We've evolved beyond the need for violence. We defend, we redirect, we transform, but we don't destroy unless absolutely necessary." As the Imperium ships retreated, Chen turned to Vexra. "This is why we've remained hidden, and this is why we've chosen now to be found. The galaxy is reaching a crucial juncture. The Union expands. The Imperium grows more aggressive. Dozens of species advance toward capabilities similar to ours. The time of isolation is ending." Vexra understood then what was being offered. "You want to guide us, to help prevent destructive uses of advanced technology, not to guide," Eleanor corrected gently. "To share, to join the galactic community as equals, offering a different path. Not dominance through force, but advancement through cooperation." The nexus shifted again, now showing possibilities, future trajectories, potential outcomes of various approaches to galactic development. Some ended in war and destruction, others in stagnation. But some, the paths illuminated most brightly, showed civilizations advancing together, sharing knowledge without surrendering individuality. "When you return to the Union," Chen said, "you'll face a choice. You can report us as a threat to be contained or studied, or you can describe us as we truly are. Humans who have found a different way forward, who wish to reconnect with the galactic community not as conquerors, but as contributors." The light in the nexus dimmed slightly, focusing now on Vexra and her crew. "The choice is yours, Captain. We won't influence your decision or prevent your departure." "That's not our way." Vexra looked at her crew members. Zix was clearly enthralled by the scientific possibilities. Dorn remained suspicious but thoughtful. The other researchers were split between excitement and caution. "If I report your full capabilities," Vexra said slowly, "there will be fear. Some will want to contain you. Others will demand your technology." "We know," Eleanor nodded. "We've run the simulations thousands of times. There will be fear. There always is when faced with the unknown. But there will also be understanding, cooperation, growth. The question is which response will prevail." Chen stepped forward, now fully corporeal again. "We're not asking you to lie or omit critical information. We're asking you to see us as we are, not as weapons or threats or resources to be exploited, but as fellow travelers in the great cosmic journey." For a long moment, Vexra was silent, weighing possibilities and responsibilities. Finally, her scales settled into a calm blue of decision. "I will tell the truth as I've witnessed it," she said. "That humanity on Phoenix Colony has evolved, not into something alien, but into something that reveals the full potential that might exist in all sentient beings. That you offer partnership, not dominance. Knowledge, not weapons. Chen smiled, relief evident in his expression. That's all we ask. As they prepared to depart, Eleanor approached Vexra with a small crystal that pulsed with inner light. A gift, she said, placing it in the captain's palm. It contains information that will help your scientists understand the principles behind our evolution. Not enough to replicate our more advanced technologies, but enough to set your researchers on new paths. Outside the Nexus, as they walked back to their shuttle, Zix could barely contain his excitement. Captain, what we've seen here, it changes everything we thought we knew about evolutionary potential, consciousness, technology integration. Yes, Vexra agreed thoughtfully. But the most remarkable thing isn't what they've become, it's what they've remained. She looked back at the settlement, where humans with godlike powers lived in harmony with their environment and each other. They could dominate the galaxy if they wished. Instead, they invite conversation. Dr. Chen accompanied them to the shuttle. We'll be watching for your return, Captain Vexra, or for others who come seeking understanding rather than advantage. As the shuttle doors closed and they prepared for departure, Vexra looked down at the crystal in her hand. Within its depths, she could see patterns of light that seemed alive with possibility. Set course for Union headquarters, she instructed as they lifted off. We have a first contact report to deliver. The Nebula Seeker departed Phoenix Colony, leaving behind a world hidden for centuries that had now, by choice, taken its first step into a wider galaxy. And as Vexra composed her report in her mind, she knew that whatever happened next would depend not on the extraordinary humans they'd encountered, but on how the rest of the galaxy chose to respond to the hand of friendship extended from a world that shouldn't exist.